this whole EDP situation is completely wild, like from start to finish. If you guys are unaware who EDP is, he is, or was, I guess, as of now, a famous YouTuber who used to do, like, just kind of rant videos, I guess, on just anything from, like, just, I don't know, like football or, like, really anything. He would talk about anything that came to his mind, and then he would just make a video of it. And I don't know, I guess his, like, the way that he talked about it, the way he was very vulgar, the way he was very, like, animated, I guess that's what kind of got him his following and stuff. So yeah, that's who EDP was. Doesn't really matter now, because after what happened to him, or after what he did rather, there is no more EDP, really. If you guys are unaware of what happened to EDP, basically there had been allegations floating around that, like, he had been talking to minors and stuff on, like, Instagram and all that shit, right? But unfortunately there was no proof. And the last time he got accused of that, right, he just kind of played it off as, like, he trolled the person that was trolling him, right? He played it off as if, like, oh, I knew who the person that I was talking to. I know the person that I was talking to was not older than 18. So I was just pretending to talk back to them, to, like, troll them back, right? And somehow that was enough for his fans to just say, okay, well, let's just forget about that then. They tried to troll him, he trolled them back, and that's all there is to it. But clearly there was more to it. This dude called Chet Goldstein, we'll talk about him too later, but this dude, he has a channel where I think he basically just, like, kind of does the whole, like, How to Catch a Predator thing, right? They set up people as decoys who play underage girls, or I'm not sure if it's just girls or it's just underage people, right? And they try to attract these pedophiles, right? And they try to just, it's the same concept really as How to Catch a Predator, from what I understand. And his latest victim, and his biggest victim, I would say, is EDP. And this happened a few days ago, as of me recording this. And since it happened, they've actually released a video with the chat logs of every conversation that EDP, or almost every written conversation that EDP's had with the decoy that they had. I'm going to put the link in the description to that video. It's very long. It's damn near 2 hours. But honestly, it's hard to watch. But not because it's, like, I mean, it is graphic to a certain extent, what he's describing, what he's talking about. But they don't show anything, obviously. And also, it's just hard to listen to because it's so, I don't like using that word in this context, but it's so cringe. It's so, like, it just makes you want to, like, headbutt the wall when you're listening to the video, because you're like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? You know? And if you guys listen to the video, you'll know what I mean, but it's supremely fucked up. So I'll just let you guys check that out if you want to. But basically, if you're not going to check it out, I'll just give you like an abridged version of it. Basically, it started off by this girl, this decoy that they planted, right? Kind of started talking to EDP and started just making conversation and stuff through Instagram DMs. And eventually she got his number, right? They exchanged numbers, and then they started texting, and he was well aware that she was 13, right? Or that the age that they said that the decoy was 13, and he was well aware of that. You could see it in the text. They made it very clear multiple times. And also, multiple times throughout those conversations, EDP would be like, for example, at some point, I think he just kind of freaks. I think he just kind of realizes maybe, like, what he's doing is kind of fucked up. And he says something along the lines of, oh, I can't do this. If I get caught, my life is ruined. And I want you to pay attention to that. If he says if he gets caught, his life is ruined. Not what I'm doing is morally wrong. He doesn't talk about that. All he says is, if I get caught, I'm going to go to jail. Or my life is ruined. All he cares about is himself. He doesn't care about the fact that he was, unbeknownst to him, what he thought was a 13-year-old, he was grooming at the time. That was not the problem to him. To him, the problem was that his life would have been over if it got out, right? But every time the decoy would kind of calm him down, or would, it wasn't even that she calmed him down. It was like, he just kind of, I don't know, he got horny again. Like every time he did the thing where, like, he would kind of back up, like, it screams post-nut clarity. All right. As weird as that is, like, I feel like he would enter a state of like post-nut clarity where it'd be like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? I'm talking to a 13-year-old. Maybe I should stop. And then that clarity just kind of went away after a few days or after a few hours. And he was right back in there. It's fucking disgusting. It's like, bro, how are you going to fuck up your whole entire life? This dude was like, I'm pretty sure this dude was well off with the amount of subscribers and views he was getting per video, right? But he fucked up his whole life for some potential underage pussy. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? What's good with you? You can't do that. Like, you're sick in your fucking head. That's all EDP is. He's sick in his fucking head. He needs help. Thank fucking God he wasn't actually talking to a 13-year-old. All right? I didn't say this, but if you guys didn't watch the video, at the end, basically how he got caught is that the decoy made cupcakes, right? And she basically sent him a picture of the cupcakes and said, oh, you could come over and get a cupcake. But obviously, it was just a pretense to kind of have him come over and have sex, right? Because they were having conversations about fucking and stuff. And it's super fucking weird. It's super disgusting. He was like teaching her how sex works. It's fucking disgusting. It was literally so hard to listen to. I honestly had trouble listening to it. But anyways, he was like teaching her about sex and stuff. So obviously, because of prior conversations, you could tell where this was going to go, right? His intentions going there, you could tell what they were. Especially since before he went, you can see in the chat logs, he was telling her like, I can't do this. He was like trying to back out because he knew that what he was about to do was potentially going to ruin his life. And guess what? It ruined his fucking life. And thankfully so, because if he didn't do it to this person, he would have did it to another child. This dude has some fucking mental problems. He needs to get taken care of. He needs to be off the streets and in somewhere where he can get some help. All right? That's all I care about at this point. What he did is fucking disgusting. I'm just happy that he's very far away, or hopefully he will be very far away from any children so that he won't be able to do anything to them ever again. All right? We don't even know what's happened in the past. I'm not saying that he did this in the past, but what's stopping him? I'm sure he's at least had conversations with other children. I highly doubt this is the first time. And even if it is, you fucked up. You fucked up, and it was not worth it. You cannot tell me this was worth it. There is no universe in which this dude should have fucked up his whole life for this shit. He needs help. He needs to be put somewhere where he can't hurt anyone and where he will get the help that he needs. And even when he got caught, that's the worst part. Even when he got caught, he asked the dude, I think it was Chet I think it was Chet Goldstein and another dude. He asked them straight up, he said, is my life over? Dude, is that the only problem? You see here? You're insane. You need help. You're still concerned about your own life. Look at what you were about to do, or what you think you were about to do. Realize how fucked up your actions are and how fucked up the consequences of your actions would have been for this child. You would have basically ruined the life of. If he had sex with a 13-year-old child at that point, if the person he was talking to was actually 13 and he ended up having sex with them, he would have ruined their life. Even if it never came out and he kept living his life, that child would have had their perception of everything ruined forever. These people cannot be allowed to do this shit. And I'm very happy that there's people like Chet Goldstein, however the fuck you say his name, that are doing this shit. However, I'm going to put a parenthesis on this whole video because this dude, Chet Goldstein, got some dirt on him too. I'm going to link a Twitter thread in the description that shows that he's not exactly without his own faults. Like in the thread, you could see that like there's numerous occasions where he said the N-word, where he's had his own kind of predatory behavior. It's very, very fucking strange. And it's very unfortunate also because it just goes to show you can't trust anybody you see online. You can't take what you see online at face value. Don't believe what people put out there. Please use your critical judgment. Use your critical thinking. When you see someone online do something, before you start standing them, before you start just blindly following these people, please do some research on them. I'm begging people to not blindly follow or like or support people who they have no idea what these people do behind closed doors. They have no idea how these people are behind closed doors. It doesn't matter the perception that people put out there on the internet. In reality, these people could be sick. They could be the sickest individuals. And in EDP's case, that's what happened. I can only imagine how an EDP fan
feels
at this point in time. They must feel sick. And I know they do. I know they feel sick because there were people defending EDP as the girl was reading the chat logs with the proof right in front of their eyes. These EDP fans were still in denial because they had put him on such a pedestal. They had put him on such a high ground where he could do no wrong. That when the proof is in their face, that the person that they idolized is a fucking scumbag, disgusting piece of shit human that would do something so reprehensible to someone who has no way of defending themselves, they were still acting like, oh no, he was just trolling, or it wasn't his fault, the decoy was pushing, because in the text, the decoy obviously is like fishing for him to, you know, say some fucked up shit. At multiple occasions, the decoy is like kind of throwing texts out there that obviously is kind of like fishing for a response from EDP, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because in the end, look what happened. They got the best response they could have gotten. A complete and utter destruction of his character because of his own actions. He destroyed his own reputation. All the decoy did was poke a little bit, and that's all it took. You can't defend that. You can't defend that. All I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say it one last time, people like EDP need help. They need to be off the streets. They need to be very far away from people they could potentially ruin the life of, and they need to get the help that they need to get better. All right? I don't even give a shit what happens to EDP at this point. His actions were gonna destroy somebody's life, potentially destroy somebody's life. I don't want to hear nothing about this dude. I need this dude to be off of social media. I need this dude to be off of everything. He needs to get the fuck up out of here and go somewhere where he can get some help. And I never want to hear about this dude again. And I hope he has the brains to not put himself out there again. Because he probably will just be registered as a sex offender. He probably won't do any jail time or any serious jail time because nothing actually happened. But he had intent. And because of that intent, he will be registered as a potential sex offender, or just as a sex offender, period, right? But unfortunately, he won't actually, I'm not sure if he'll get any time for this, right? So I hope he himself goes out of his way to reflect upon his actions and to get the help that he needs. Because if he tries to get back in here, people are going to get him the fuck up out of here faster than you can even realize. And that's all I got to say about it. And one last thing too, fuck Chet Goldstein. He a bitch too. Don't even forget about him. His time is coming too. His time is coming. He got his big break with his EDP shit. Good for him. But his actions are going to catch up to him as well.